You can best do that in a swing area. You know, if there's an election, for instance, maybe in my constituency today, and NDC win the seat today, it doesn't mean anything. But in an area like that, it's quite competitive because anybody at all could win the seat, and that is why we are in there like that. So far, the report we have picked, the work that our people on the ground are doing, and the candidates that we elected, Bernard. Incidentally, Bernard was my friend. We were mates at Legon. At a point, we were even in the same room. And so I've known Bernard this many years. His senior brother is a pastor now. We were there with his senior brother as well. And so, what else can I say than to wish him the very best? From the report I've picked so far, speaking to my colleagues on the ground, I'm sure by Tuesday, when the polls are closed and counting is done, Bernard will emerge as the MP elect for that particular constituency to come and add up to our numbers, and let's see how we can push the agenda of the resetting of Ghana and the development of the area. Now, I'm worried. There was a report that came out, I think, a week earlier from the police about some guns that were intercepted or were seized from some people and all that, doing some snap checks that they were doing and all that. Now, what we are not too sure of is if these guns were brought in because of the by-election or there were weapons that were in the hands of these illegal small-scale miners and what have you. I think that the police was not very clear on that particular issue because the
police has not updated us on what
the investigations are. What the investigations are and where we are now.
Because the two gentlemen they arrested said it was it's for their boss. And we don't know what the police has done to the boss, whether the police have interrogated the boss and what the results.
And what is it that we're going to use the ammunition for? Now, another thing that is critical, there are a lot of people that are holding registered weapons in our country. I think that the police will need to do some more public education. Assuming I have a registered weapon now, and I'm going to Akwatia, and that registered weapon is in my car, and the police stop me midway and they check my car and they see the weapon, would they confiscate that weapon even after I've shown them the license, the legal document that allows me to hold the gun? Would they confiscate the gun? Would that become a public issue? That, for instance, Agunyo was arrested with a gun when the same police has given me the permit to hold a gun. I
that's
think
an
that
issue
we need some clarity.
But in this case under reference, they said that it was for their boss, and I'm not sure they showed any documents.
Yeah. So the police need to update the public as to what exactly is happening. That just to conclude on this issue, go back and check. Almost all the by-elections we have had in the Fourth Republic from 1996 up until now, the story hasn't been good. They've almost all have been characterized by violence and all this type of thing that we have here. The only thing that is keeping Ghana going to despite the international community is the image we have created for ourselves that we believe in multi-party democracy and that we can go to elections and come out peacefully. Anything that will tarnish that image and reputation internationally, we need to guard against it. And you know the way the international media in particular operates. All the things that we did in 2028, we came out 2024 elections, we have come out successfully. That will not become a major news item. That, we went to a by-election Ablekumanov, and then somebody jumped in a Chuck Norris, how do you call those movies? You wore those movies. And the Chuck Norris fashion. And that becomes, the news. You open CNN, you open whatever it is. It's not good for us. And so I want to call on all of us to be very, very measured in the things we do. And to conclude by saying that those of us who are in leadership of political parties, we must take responsibility for the things that are happening. It is we who instigate and incite our people to do some of these things that they do. And yet when we are finished, we come back and we pretend we don't know anything about it. It's not good for our image. I said that Bullet has no respect for anybody. I don't think my brother and Okoe-Boye, but you don't know the relationship that we have beyond maybe on set here or NDC, MPP. You don't know what the relationship that we have. You understand? So we are not enemies. We are friends and all that. So I beg, let us bring down the temperature. As it is said, the election is determined already. Sorry, MPP has lost.
Election is determined. Okay, I see.
From the report we have read, if it is
no, but if you listen to the MPP, Okoe-Boye's people as well, I mean, they are very confident.
But nobody goes to battle and say he has lost. Even if they come to contest, but even my cousin were going like they said they have gone already. So
people say that, of course, it's a seat you won in 2014, even though it was not without dispute, But winning it again, 2024, winning it again will not make any difference for you in Parliament. So why are we making it a high-stake election like this? And it does appear, from what people say, that you are using the death of the gentleman as sympathy to get more votes. So you're doing a lot of vigils, using dirges on the ground, etc., just to whip up, sympathetic votes, etc., or sympathy votes. Why are we making it such a high-stake election?
My sister, the current Greater Accra Regional Minister, Akwatia, you know how she came to Parliament? Ask her.
The true by-election.
The
husband died. And then
so you have all these answers already. So as for...
Why did you mention Lydia from my house west?
Because I want you to know that on the other side too, there are some factors that come up when the by-elections are as a result of deaths and all that. These things do happen. So, I think the NEC made a lot of meat or case out of this 2/3 thing and created the impression that something big was about to happen with the 2/3. So come on, majority is not enough. Let's push hard. And some thought that they could change the constitution and some entrenched amendments. You will see very soon. So far, the 2/3 is been on paper. By the way, I think
to do things.
But the 2/3 have not been very useful. So that's a fair point to make.
I knew you'd be on my side.
People don't come. People don't go. Minority with their small numbers will raise issues about quorum. And some guys are not going to.
See, we will get there.
So, I think that going into the election 2024, we knew the issues. Some of the issues that went against us, cost of living, the economy. We also had strong points like, the free SHS, quality of education, free TVET. The point I'm trying to make is that in every election, there are things that play out, what usually the citizens will look out for. Even with the burden of the economy on us, we were able to win Akwatia narrowly. The NDC contested it in court that we didn't win the elections. After all the legal gymnastics, the gentleman was more or less confirmed as the MP for the Akwatia constituency.
Was it confirmed?
But the Supreme Court, yes.
No, that matter hasn't been.
No,
that matter hasn't
they've not made a determination.
Which one?
It was a contempt.
It was a contempt.
All right. So the matter was
still in court. Yeah.
But now the matter is there.
And what is very strange and interesting is that you have a party that says that, look, this our guy is the one that the constituency believe in and want to lead them. He won the election, the NDC. And then, by God's own arrangement, instead of you contesting the thing in court, God now calls this guy, okay, leave the scene. Now the seat that you say is yours is now vacant. And then this party that says that we want this seat, they now go for primaries and take out the one they were arguing in court was a favorite of the constituency and bring the lawyer that was fighting the case.
The lawyer was not on the ballot. Maybe they found the lawyer to be better.
Every election zero.
The time they were arguing in court, they were not telling the judges that this lawyer...
The lawyer didn't contest the election.
No, but my point is that whatever arguments were being made was to the effect that he is the one that the people, the overwhelming majority, had confidence in. Is it not interesting that when the seat now became vacant, the one who the NDC believes had to be sent through the courts to be confirmed as the one that the people believe in, they say, no, you shouldn't go.
No, because he contested the election. Maybe he didn't perform as marvelously as they would have wanted.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, I like the way you put it. Yeah. Not as marvelous.
Maybe. Or maybe they found a lawyer to be better.
So, that's an intriguing or interesting thing that has to come
interesting,
out.
actually.
Yes.
And I wonder what conversation the lawyer had with his former client before putting in this.
As you are looking at client lawyer, I'm also looking at the NDC part when they tell you that this is what we think happened, what it could be. One major advantage the NDC has going into this election is that the government has been formed by them. And so, unsurprisingly, their campaign everywhere is that give us power, give us a seat, and we'll do development projects. Is that not it?
But that's what their policies has become.
Okay.
But have you been there? Have you been there? Do we see? Have you seen?
No,
I've not heard issues about abuse of incumbency yet.
I'm coming there.
Have we seen that?
I'm coming there. Now, I think that's the main advantage. But if you check the history or our background as a country, it's not a given that once you give a seat to an incumbent government, you get the projects or development that they are promising. So this to the people of Akwatia. Remember, Talensi, if it's by election that guarantees what to happen, I'm sure Talensi would have been some very fantastic in terms of projects. All their infrastructure would have been done. Almost most of the constituents that went through by elections, they didn't really get the expected developments that were promised by the incumbent. So that's by the way. I think that the MPP is going in strong with the same message that, look, just as Ernest Kumi was trying his best to represent you, our gentleman would also do the same. I am not too worried about violence there because of the shame that came to us as a country and the police, looking at what happened at Ablekumanov. So I think that the shame is so much that they have gone, in fact, they are now being even excessive.
They have revised their notes.
Exactly. And, Selim, I think one day we must have this conversation. The reason why our police in Ghana, not necessarily under NDC, can be so impotent and sometimes so unreliable is how the head of the police is brought in. When the Constitution provided that the president should appoint the police, when we started, there was a lot of emphasis on the cohesion of the state. You didn't want from the beginning where everybody would be showing his power. Imagine if you had independently brought in the police, the president says, or the government wants to do this, I also do that. But after having traveled over 30 years, I think it is about time to find some amendments. So if we had a provision that said, let's say president appoints 3 commissioner COPs, and all police officers from ACP and onwards, if there are 500 in the police, they will vote on who will become the IGP. So if we have some checks and balances that grants or guarantees your tenure of office, we will then have police that will work with some SOPs, some standard operating procedures that will be assertive. Look, the things, I think one political professor said something which I agree. He said, look, the violence we had in previous by-elections was not because the police were not around. They were around, but they appeared either impotent or helpless. So what will make them act based on their training and the rules is when you know that when you do this particular act under, let's say, NDC, and they are in power, they can't take you out because they are not happy with you. So this is where we have to get to as a country. Look, in Lejekuku, after the election, I have some project I'm working on at Gano. NDC assemblymen, 2 gentlemen, led tax. They went there, broke doors, ransacked some of my items, and did a picture that I've stolen.
Private?
Yes, a private property. I wrote to the regional police. I presented myself 3 occasions, waited at the one Kabu Saint, the assemblyman, some electoral area guy, and one other gentleman. Waited at regional police 3 different occasions. Up to now, they are helpless. I have the complaint, the statement. They made me write a statement. To even get them to show up at the police, they are untouchables. This will continue in our republic until we do amendments that will allow the police. Look, the way Ghana is now, Salom, there are certain events. If you go and you see police presence, but there's political tainting of the program, it's better you take some precautions so that you don't get trouble.
Because the police won't come to your aid.
Because sometimes they see and they are helpless because of the current structure.
I see.
But I believe that Akwatia would not be as problematic.
That's the sentencing of the 8 persons who perpetrated that violent act in Ablekumanov. Deter people.
Because I understand the difficulty of the police, I don't even want to go at them. You see, if you see the way these gentlemen were, this gentleman is even used advice, were treated. Compare them to, say, Obama. He posted something, and just for posting, he had to be brought into police headquarters at dawn and all that. These guys didn't even see that. But he posted how do you call it, ammunition gun or whatever, and some video. But my point is that he posted a video, and police said they need him for yes.
But these people have been been arrested.
Oh, I said they didn't see. You see, let's be straight. They didn't see the conference of a cell for even 2 hours. These guys who were caught on video, more or less harming a female. They've never seen the cell of our country.
But they've been convicted and sentenced.
I'm coming there. The point I'm making is that others who are only needed for assisting the police slept in cell for 5, 6, 7 days. Those who were on a helpless lady were talked to at the police station. Charlie, go and come back later. Let's meet in court, and giving a fine of 6,000 Ghana. Sell them. If what it takes after beating someone you've marked or want to show a lesson is 6,000, oh, sell them. Then if I am able to save, let's say 30,000, it means I have about 6, 5, 30, about 6 sessions.
You can do more. You can do more harm.
I'm extremely surprised.
Oh, I'm coming. Let me call.
No, but I have 3 people on Zoom after
I'm extremely surprised.
So all I'm trying, of course, me.
You were not like this.
I'm not in my. It's not in my nature.
Yes.
I mean, it was on the lighter side. But the point I want to make is that you have to make certain actions expensive. Don't let people try it.
But the record of sentencing, conviction.
No. That is commendable. But my point is that, in effect, you are telling them bring 6,000 cedis and go home. And I'm saying that even that amount is not.
So you think they should have been given a custodial sentence?
Oh no. Even the amount, let them go through some difficulty to pay the amount.
Like sleeping in cell for a while.
Oh no, it's not a cell.
That the fine should have been heftier.
Exactly. So
but we've seen 1,800 in the past when they went to brutalize the court in session.
I'm happy.
And when they went to UTV to disrupt the program, they were fined 2,400.
As a country, we have to make progress.
So this is progress, isn't it?
Oh, I mean, it's progress, but we can do way better.
We can do better. Okay, that's well noted. All right, I'll take a short break. When I come back, we'll hear from Franklin Kujo. We'll hear from Dr. Akwatia, and then we will also hear from Michael Donina Mensah. Don't go away. Final lap of the program, dealing with Akwatia and roping in the Ablekuma North conviction and sentencing. A quick message here from Harry says, asking security services to vote for their commanders is an incredibly bad idea. We have the police council, make that independent and allow them to either appoint the top 3 layers of the service or recommend those leaders to the president for appointment. Yes. I think the point he was making generally is how to make it independent. So this is also another good one. Franklin, morning. Good to have you. Akwatia, what are your expectations? And are you impressed with the Ablekuma North conviction and sentencing? And would that deter people planning evil in Akwatia to have a rethink?
Thanks, everybody. Good to see you, Dr. Okoe-Boye. Good to see you, Michael. Good to see you, my own AP. Fred. Well, look, I'm not too sure I'm happy about the sentencing in the case of Ablekuma, because I think they should have been punished a lot more, so that the people are deterred from getting involved in all these acts of violence and what I call hooliganism, electoral hooliganism. You know, so I'm not entirely happy about it. But well, look, you know, when Dr. Okoe-Boye was speaking about the professionalism of the police, expected of the police, you know, I just said to myself, if the NPP had treated Dampare a little bit better, I'm not too sure he would have been fast-tracked. His exit would have been fast-tracked the way it was done. Don't forget that the Imani took the case to court because he wanted to actually get an interpretation as to whether a president can actually remove a certain, or appoint an IGP or service commanders per se. I think apart from the army chief. But okay, that case was not heard anyway. I'm just saying that the optics of not treating the particular service commander well can feed into how he's treated if the tables turn politically. So that's that for Okoe-Boye. Well, look, Akwatia, by the way, I think I hold the view that Professor Prempeh shared, HKP Prempeh of CDD. That look, we need to get to that point where if a particular party loses a candidate, I mean, during the term of a government, I think the best thing to do is to just fill the candidate and then we move on instead of wasting all this money, raising all these pressure for ourselves, tension and all of that for the country. I don't think it's fair. I mean, to think that you're hearing that about 5,000 service people are going to Akwatia, is it a war zone? I'm just wondering. Is it really 5,000 Salon? Is it 5,000? That's quite strange, really, to think that 5,000 men have to police a by-election. I don't think we are going to kill people there.
They don't want to take anything for granted. That's what they are doing.
I understand, but then, well, maybe in the entire country then must have many soldiers during the main elections. You don't know what we should be doing. Even when you have no soldiers, you are disenfranchised. Look at what happened to South. So you can imagine these kinds of things happening in the day. I don't think it speaks well for our democracy. And I understand what Fred said, that look, if anything goes negative in this by-election, that would be the tagline for the Ghanaian political scene for some time until the next election, which is why I suspect that the party should have probably just accepted. And I think the NPP brought the idea that, look, we will contest Tamale, is it Tamale North or Tamale Central? Central, in honor of the fallen hero, but then also you don't contest here. Well, some people say it was hypocritical because they knew they were going to lose anyway. I mean, that Tamale Central. I think they did it in all honesty, and I think that it spoke to the point that, look, if you are a subsisting party, and in this case, the NDC has so many parliamentarians, I don't know what they need under MP for, you know. But well, they'll say that it's elections, and they want to show their verve, they want to show how ready they are for the next election. Fred, you can't always be in an electoral mode after an election. You always have to think about the country in a way, you know. So I'm not buying your argument that it's also a test of the NDC's resolve to see how they'll prepare for the main election. But anyway, look, I expected the NPP to also show up a candidate who probably, I don't know the candidate that well, and I don't know what if he won, his addition to Parliament's growth would have been. I mean, that would be the basis of which I would make some of this assessment anyway, because I think somehow if you have a candidate who has that, you know, that can make the mighty feel a bit more maturity feel in terms of their voice, then you are going somewhere. But I don't know the candidate, so I can't tell. But whatever it is, it's just an election. It's just a by-election. And I don't see why we want to kill ourselves and then arm ourselves to the teeth.
Very well.
It's just a by-election. Right?
Very well. Great. But on a lighter note, Fred says you owe him a borehole. That's your constituency. So just take note. That's preparing to us. All right.
Fred, we are meeting shortly. Okay. You know that I'm not running away. You are the one running away.
That's fine. All right. So let me speak to Michael Donyina Mensah. Just 2 minutes. He's executive director for the Center for Public Opinion and Awareness. And what signals are you picking on the ground? Are we going into this election confident that there will be no security breaches, that people are aware of the choices they are making, etc.? Just 2 minutes.
I can't trust that, and I have no confidence in such a statement. I think that I agree with Bright that Akwatia is a test case because we heard of Ayawaso, we heard of Ablekuma, and the politicians, you know, each blaming each other. And this one will be a test case because if they really want to nip in the bud issues of hooliganism during elections, then this will be the real test case to see if the politicians are learning a lesson. I believe that we have these issues just because the politicians are refusing to be disciplined, because there are laws. The electoral laws covers how elections are run, even 24 hours before elections. All campaigning must stop. You know, if you have nothing doing at the polling station, you don't have to loiter about, you know. But the politicians create the problem and they expect the police to come solve it. Just imagine we have like 5,500 policemen being reportedly sent to Akwatia for a voter population of about 52,000. That means one person, one police to 10 people. Look at the logistics, the amount of money that's going to be spent on this by-election alone. And I also want to agree with him again regarding the issue of taking a look at our by-elections, because there are certain ramifications. For example, the previous government, the previous MPP government, we saw how there was a tie in Parliament. So just one by-election can actually change a lot. And imagine if we have to change from majority to minority just because of a by-election and things like that. So it is something that I feel that the Constitutional Review Committee should consider and look at. But talking about the convictions, I am very disappointed. Why am I disappointed? They were convicted on assault and conspiracy to cause assault. I think the judge did not consider the public interest nature of the crime because, fine, the individuals were assaulted, but they were assaulted at a polling station. And such actions really strike the very heart of democracy when people try to create an environment that makes it hostile for people to be able to go out and cast their vote. So with that, I think that well, it's a good attempt. It's a good beginning because we've seen others in the past. But I feel that the judge could have actually done better just to serve as a deterrent because such judgments make us feel that there are some underpinnings or some hands behind it. But let's just hope that this is just the beginning, and then future and subsequent this thing will be better.
So, Michael, we'll talk more on this. Interesting points you've raised there. Dr. Akwada, I mean, just a few thoughts, then we wrap up this discussion. Can we go into this election hoping that it will be incident-free?
Well, that is our hope. We are hoping that we'll go into this incident, this election as well, and come out, as peaceful as possible. But like the MP said, since 1992, all by-elections have been characterized with some form of violence. And so I will not be surprised if this one comes out, with some sense of violence. But here again, the government appears to be dealing with it because in just recent past, we've seen a couple of them, Ayawaso, and we had to demand and kept calling for, some legal actions to be pressed on, perpetrators of such violence, but we saw very little. So yes, the court may have slapped, just the back of these people, their hands, and say, go and say no more. But I believe it's an action. It will send some deterrence around. We are hoping that, the police deploying over 5,500, security, officers to Akwatia with a population of, an estimate of about 20 to 25,000.
No, it's more
means
than
that the police too.
It's more, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, around 30,000, I think, means that the police to civilian ratio is really going to be very manageable. To that extent, I'm hoping that it does not cause any voter intimidation. And I'm hoping that if we are going to have this kind of ratio on the ground, this should be our best by-election in history.
Very well.
And I also think that persistent calls by political actors, against persons like the military, other security services,
will make them do better.
Not a very good thing. It's not a very good thing to say that, hey, if we see the military in Akwatia, we are going to, take care of them in our own way. I think that such calls should be condemned without any reservations at all. We do not have to endanger the lives of our security officers while they are performing their duty or going about their regular, everyday lives.
Very well. Thanks so much, Emmanuel Akwada. Nana Akwada, thanks so much. We've run out of time.
I know your time. Yes. I completely disagree with those who are making the case that the judgment, the punishment that was given to
the 6,000,
the 6,000 was not good enough.
You think it's big enough?
It's a very, very, very good start.
I see.
It's a very, very good start.
All right.
That for the first time, a judge has even the courage. In time past, judges were even threatened that if they like, they should sentence the people and they will see what will happen in this country.
Well,
let us
this how we conclude this edition of the program. Thanks so much. Jefferson Asare was here earlier. Fred Agbanyo just speaking. Dr. Okoe-Boye, former minister. Franklin Kojo, Nana Akwada.